President Biden signed an executive order to pay off $10,000 of your student loans, and if you got Pell Grants, it will pay off $20,000 worth of your student loans. No questions asked, as long as you meet the income requirements, which means that you make less than $125,000 a year, or if you're a married couple, you're making less than $250,000 a year. Now, if you qualify for the student loan forgiveness, I'm happy for you. You are one step closer to paying off your student loans completely, where now you can use this money not to pay off your student loans, but to build yourself wealthy. But the thing that you need to understand here, because there's a big mistake that many people are going to make, because the people that will get the biggest benefit and make the most money from the student loan pay downs are not the ones that are getting the $10,000 or $20,000 check. It's the wealthy, it's the corporations, and the investors. No, the government is not giving money directly to corporations and the wealthy and investors through this executive order, but the government has said, they've come up publicly and said that the people who are going to get the biggest benefit are the wealthy. Now, they can't come out and say that directly because that's going to make people upset. Instead, they say it in a very politically correct way. Take a look. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says that this will help stimulate and boost the economy because people won't be burdened by student loans anymore. I talked about this a lot in 2020 when the stimulus checks were going out, but there's a big difference between stimulating the economy and stimulating your individual wealth. Stimulating the economy means, oh, I don't have to pay this $10,000 in my bank account back to the government. So how about I take this $10,000 and go shopping? How about I go to the Apple store or the Gucci store or the Lululemon store? Or how about I go to Amazon and buy something online? Or I don't have $10,000 in my bank account right now, but I won't have to worry about paying $500 a month extra to my student loans anymore. So how about I take this extra $500 a month that I no longer have to pay to my student loans, and I use this money to buy a bigger apartment, or I use this money to go out and spend, or I use this money to go on a vacation. Now that I have more money, I can go out and spend more money. You can compare that, stimulating the economy, to stimulating your own wealth, which is, oh, I don't have to pay this $10,000 back to the government anymore. How about I take this $10,000 and I invest this money into the market? And I take this $10,000 and I invest it into myself to build a business. Or I take this $10,000 and I use this money to build my savings account. This is stimulating your own wealth. This does not stimulate the economy in the short term. In the long term, it can, because as you become more wealthy, you have more ability to spend more. But in the short term, you're using this money just to pay yourself. That's not stimulating the economy. And the consensus is that the student loan pay down, the student loan forgiveness, is going to stimulate the economy. What does that mean? That the government and economists are predicting and hoping that it's going to help spur growth in the economy, because we're already seeing the economy slow down. So it's a way to stimulate the economy. Well, what happened when the stimulus checks were sent out in 2020 and 2021? Well, people got money and it stimulated the economy. You saw people going to the Gucci store, people were going to the Lululemon store, you saw people going out and spending money, and it created a huge boost in the economy. People felt wealthier in the short term because they had more money to spend. When you have more money to spend, you feel wealthier because now you can go out and actually buy more stuff. But then eventually that money runs away because you've spent that money. And then what happens? Well, the money flows to the top because people go and spend money at places like Gucci and Louis Vuitton. And interestingly, stores like Gucci and Louis Vuitton, which are luxury stores, were making record-breaking sales while we were in a recession. Why? Because people had more money than ever thanks to stimulus checks and unemployment checks. And this is what the government is hoping for again. They're hoping for a boost and a stimulus in the economy. What does that mean? That now you don't have to take this money, either your monthly income or people that have cash in the bank that would have used this money to pay down their student loans, that now instead of using this money to pay back your student loans, you can take this money and go out on a vacation. You can take this money and go out and buy a car. You can take this money and put it towards a down payment on a home. And now you have the ability to buy more stuff, which doesn't make you wealthier, but it makes somebody else wealthier. Because when the stimulus checks were going out, all the corporations and the investors and the business owners were making money while regular people felt rich in the short term. Now you're seeing the price. People talk about how there's such a big wealth gap between the haves and the have-nots now. How you're seeing more money flow to the top. Well, that's what happens when you want to stimulate the economy. People are making money. Business owners are making money. But somebody has to be spending that money to get it. This is where you want to be financially educated and understand what's going on. This is what the government wants. They have already said that. They want to stimulate the economy. We're already seeing a slowdown in the economy. And this is where you want to be financially educated and not fall into that same trap. If you got the student loan forgiveness, great. Good for you. Now you don't have to use this money to pay down more of your debt. But Don't blow this opportunity to build more wealth for yourself. If you have that cash in the bank, well, put that money to work. Use that money to pay down your credit card debts or other debts that you have. Use that money to build your savings account. Use this free money to build your investment account. Use this money to build your wealth first instead of just stimulating the economy. It is not your patriotic duty to stimulate the economy. It is not your patriotic duty to make everybody else around you rich. Okay? I'm sorry, but it's not. This is where I want you to understand that I want you to put yourself first, pay yourself first, take care of yourself first. Hey, it's great. You got some free money. Use this as an opportunity to build more wealth for yourself instead of just using this as an opportunity to go out and start shopping and start spending because you got some free money from the government. Be smart here financially because the majority of people are going to go out and use this as an opportunity to spend more money because now they no longer have this liability. If you feel obligated that if you go there, you're gonna have to pay $250 for this nice dinner, or you're gonna have to pay $200 for a gift, or you're gonna have to pay $2,000 to go on a vacation, and you don't wanna spend that money or you can't afford to spend that money, it's okay to say no. Now you might be saying, but Jaspreet, I wanna be able to enjoy my life. I wanna have nice memories.